All right, so I just saw the long walk. I'm somebody who walks a lot. For a while there, for maybe like 4 months, I was doing 20,000 steps a day, which was about 10 miles for me at my height, 6'3", by the way. Full beard connects. What can't this guy do? Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Get a house. That's what I can't do. So, or an apartment. I live with my parents. But yeah. So the long walk is fantastic. I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's fantastic. But while I was watching this movie, which is very dark, I was trying to, kind of find little pockets of, escape. And I was thinking, like, if I had to make a playlist of songs that I'd walk to, which I don't really have, because when I walk, I listen to YouTube, secular talk, Hal Kalinske, politics. I also listen to some music, but it's not really a set playlist for walking. I do have one for hiking. It was named Trail Mix, and then I stepped away from that one because it became too busy. Like the sounds had branched out too far. But now I just have a little sad named hiking playlist called Hiking. But I was thinking, like, what are the best songs with like the idea of walking in the title? You got Walk This Way, Aerosmith, and Run DMC. I almost said AMC, which is AMC propaganda seeping into this video. Then you also have I Walk Alone or Walk Alone by Gary Clark Jr. I love Gary. I've seen him live maybe 3 or 4 times. He's fantastic. You have just so many. There's Master Ace. Master Ace is like a hip hop legend, but he's more underground. He has a song called "Take a Walk." Let's take a walk through a different part of the hood. I want to know who it was who said it was all good. They must have never been to the corner and spent a half an hour longer where they could smell reality stronger. Where they sell you grease in a box and hope that you die quicker. And if you're old enough to walk to the store, you can buy liquor. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, all right. Long walk, long walk, long walk. Okay, here's my little synopsis I wrote up. The military selects a sorry, let me start over. The military selects one young man from each state to embark on a long walk. There's no finish line and only one winner. Those who run out of warnings for various violations are shot and killed. The winner of the long walk is awarded a large sum of money and a single wish. This movie is brutal. Like there are things you think of if you hear the premise and you're like, these people are walking for what could be an eternity as long as their body could hold up. Obviously, you wonder like, well, what about pooping and things? Well, they show you in the movie. What about pooping? They show you a couple of times. What about an injury? They show you. What about dealing with different personalities held by young men in very desperate circumstances? They show you. This movie is. This is the quote I made for it. The Long Walk is beautiful because it's ugly. This is an ugly movie. I mean, even the way it looks, like it's very dim and gray. I mean, there might be some sunshine here and there. I don't remember if there was, but most of it's overcast. There's rain, there's night scenes. There's not a lot of hope. There are also a couple flashbacks, most of which, all of which seem to be in confined spaces and involve, insinuated tragic events, if not blatantly showing you tragic events. And this is a lot. This movie, and I don't know what to pinpoint it down to. It's political, but I don't know if it's like a commentary on the draft. I don't know when Stephen King wrote this. Maybe he did it, Vietnam era, people are getting drafted. But one of the things in the movie is that, you have the illusion of choice. All the young men congregate together and they're like, you know, one of the guys who was raised by a more radical father, which is kind of one of the plot points for why he wants to embark on this journey. He's speaking about how his father informed him that like none of them really have a choice. And all the young men thought back to themselves, they were like, well, yeah, I don't know a single person in our position who hasn't opted to do this walk. Now they don't all get accepted. Only like a lottery system, the lottery system they have only accepts 50 people, one from each state. But the point is, everybody is trying to have their moment to complete the walk, despite it being literally deadly and the odds not being in their favor. Very Hunger Games esque. Obviously, this story predates those books. This is, I think, Stephen King's maybe first story. I think I saw Double Toasted, another review channel, a real review channel. They mentioned that this was Stephen King's first book, not book, first story that he wrote, but it wasn't his first published piece of art. Anyway, this movie has I think the strongest thing a movie needs is good characters that you believe in, characters you have hope for, and characters that you can learn from. I made that up. I don't know if that's actually what movie should have, but that's what I made up right now. And this movie has like a set of four characters. They dub themselves the Four Musketeers, and you believe in their friendship. Now these people have not known each other for long, and obviously as the walk goes longer, they've known each other for longer. But these relationships are very brief. But I think it shows you that It doesn't matter the length of a relationship. Even one character at one point says it doesn't matter if you've known each other for 3 hours, 30 days, or 3 years, 3 decades. It doesn't matter. Like, the fact is, this relationship is real, and it felt good to see camaraderie amongst a bunch of characters in a movie like this. Obviously, everything externally is dark, but to find this pocket of beauty in their relationship is really cool, because that's what you need as an audience member to get through this movie. And as a character in the movie, you need a bit of hope, and they offer you that. There are some cliche characters, like there's this one character in particular. He's a nutcase. You can tell he's a nutcase, and he's very annoying. He's very disruptive, but it's not to say it's unrealistic for a dystopian universe like this. Like, clearly, bad things have happened for a country, our country in particular, to get to this point. And this story, they give you little nuggets and fragments of information that kind of let you, I guess, kind of assess what may have been happening, because this takes place in a post-war society. What war? Don't know. It appears to be like the 70s or 80s, based off some of the architecture that you walk through the towns and see. Not you, but they walk through the towns and see, and some of the vehicles, 70s-ish vehicles. But the point is, I was getting to, is that, like, it makes sense that certain characters have this chip on their shoulder, this energy that is just completely chaotic and incapable of finding peace. But you even see transformations in those characters as things go along and things become more real. Like, when you start seeing bodies drop in various different ways, for various different reasons, you start to see the characters believe that this is a real thing. And one character at one point even says, he's like, when I first got out here and the first person got killed, I kind of thought at the end of that trigger pull, this little, stick and piece of paper saying bang would come out. And it doesn't. This is a real thing, which is also kind of meta, because like a piece of whatever and a paper rolling down saying bang is like very Joker-esque. And the main villain of this movie is Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill voiced the Joker in the legendary Batman animated series. You should check it out. It's the greatest TV series that I have seen that is not live action. My favorite live action series is Louis, but we don't talk about Louis C.K. Anyway, so the movie's great. Movie's great. Only nitpick is there's a character, wonderful actor. I'm gonna say his name actually. I'm gonna say a couple of their names because they deserve praise for this. So the two leads are Cooper Hoffman, son of Philip Seymour Hoffman, who passed away some years ago, and David Johnson. David Johnson is notable because he was in Alien Romulus that came out a few years back. And then this other guy, Garrett Waring, kind of looked somewhat familiar, but now that I look at his IMDb, he does not look familiar. But these people, these actors, they're what was I getting at here? What was I saying? I don't even know. They're good. They're all good. They're all good. The point is, though, that the cast is exceptional. Oh, the actor David Johnson, he is British from what I understand, which is great. He's from London. Okay, yeah. What was I about to say? Okay, sorry, I got distracted. He is from the UK, and he essentially is putting on an accent that's like more southern for this movie. And I think that's a little bit too much. Not for him as an actor, but for me as an audience member. I couldn't really hear what he was saying every time. And he was saying powerful stuff when he was talking for the most part. So it was just kind of like a disconnect. But that's like my only nitpick, is I couldn't hear everything like I wanted to. And that's really my only nitpick. Like, this movie is not something you want to watch a ton of times, but it's almost flawless. And he says something that, I don't know, it's kind of like moderate coded, so it's kind of annoying. But it's also good perspective politically. There's a moment where, there's a few moments in the movie actually where spectators will be alongside the route that the boys are taking, and obviously they're seeing horrific things. They're seeing young men on their last leg, and like, who would want to watch that? And one of the characters speaks about how gross it is that those people are watching this. And then another one's like, well, look, they're a family. Like, you have to believe that as a family they love each other. As a family they're decent people. You have to believe certain things for any of this to work. And in our country's climate, I think that's true. You do have to believe in some of that. Otherwise, you end up completely nihilistic. Not to say I'm not there, but like, again, moderate coded, sure. But you got to believe in people. Like, your Trump supporting neighbor might have some decency within him, And a lot of them probably do, but it's just, How do you see it? Where do you see it? And does it ever touch you? Does the decency ever touch you? I don't know. Rambling here. 9 out of 10. Great movie. Going to be in my top 10 for the year at this rate, I'm pretty sure. Another Stephen King movie from earlier this year, The Life of Chuck, is also going to be in my top 10. So I don't know much of Stephen King's work outside of like the classics, which I haven't really seen or read. I just know of them, but fantastic stuff. Like fantastic stuff.